Have you never thought of making a business of it?
In what aspect?
Charging for it?
What, becoming a prostitute?
How Holly and Phil get through these, we'll never know. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 20 most awkward interviews on This Morning.
Yeah, but you got in a cab with a married man. You got in a car with a married man.
But if I got in the car with you, I don't think I'd be all over the newspapers.
Yeah, I think you probably bloody would.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, brace yourself for all sorts of odd people and odd celebrities who make some of these quite the difficult viewing experience.
He's pushing your buttons. As a matter of fact, he probably pushed more than your buttons.
Number 20, the gold digger and the sugar daddy. Proud gold digger Laura Boylan appeared on the This Morning couch and instantly shot herself in the foot by saying that she will always string rich men along and never give them what they want: sex.
Just usually go for meals, things like that, holidays.
Sex?
Nope, never.
Never?
Never, no.
And do they know that before they lavish you with these presents?
No, they don't know that.
But when they bring up her kids, and them not knowing the truth about what she gets up to, things get even more awkward.
But as far as an example to your kids are concerned, I mean, they will know that you were going out with a rich football manager who you then ditched for his richer friend. Because I just said it out loud.
Honestly, it's like she didn't realise this was going to be broadcast to the entire country. As if things weren't bad enough, they passed the interview over to self-confessed sugar daddy Mark Vanderpump, who defends his right to fix up with a gold digger, and Phil is having none of it.
And then you said to our researcher, I like to have a pretty thing on my arm.
That's been rephrased slightly.
No, it hasn't, because I double checked. That is exactly what you said.
Number 19, facials. Sort of. Stop us if you've heard this one before, but back in 2015, something called a vagina facial was trending in the UK.
I felt lovely and warm, actually.
A nice feeling?
Yes, nice warm.
As such, the This Morning crew brought on some lovely ladies to receive one of these live on television and gathered around afterwards to interview them about the results. The responses were certainly not what we expected.
I feel a bit like I've just had sex, actually. I feel a bit damp.
While the ladies involved gave these so-called vajacials glowing reviews, we never really heard anything of this trend since. So maybe it was a little short-lived.
Absolutely, yeah, you're looking about 3 to 6 months, so if I've got to start working on the men's treatment next.
Number 18, Karl Pilkington. Karl's already one of the most awkward blokes in the country. Just ask Ricky Gervais. But when he appeared on This Morning to promote his new book, he took it to a new level. Right off the bat, he claims he's written more books than he's ever read, and he's not exactly the best salesman when pitching why people should buy his new one.
So it's more moaning and
4 out of 5 stars
from our researcher. Yeah.
But perhaps what this interview is best remembered for is Karl's incredible technique for relieving himself on long car journeys, which involves a hot water bottle.
So, always have hot water bottle under the passenger seat, and it's ideal for relieving yourself into because it holds a lot of liquid. The top bit, the actual lip of the hot water bottle is quite. You're not gonna spill.
Bless him.
It's not like a bottle. I don't know if you ever tried it in a bottle. I've done that a lot when I'm camping.
Number 17, the mystery caller.
Yes, I do agree with Barbara. I let my husband think he's always right, but what he doesn't realise is that it's me that wins the argument.
When Rylan took over from Phil's usual duties, the pair took to the phones to hear what the people of Britain think is the key to a happy marriage. When the first caller says that he agrees that the best way to get along is to allow your husband to win every argument, there's the feeling that something is amiss.
Hang on.
I don't know, I can't do it.
Sam, is that your real name?
No, Holly, it's Dan on the line. Someone told me.
It was soon revealed that the caller, who was dishing the dirt out on his partner, was actually Rylan's own husband. And when confronted about calling in, the two start having a wee domestic on live television. This level of drama can only be found when Rylan's about.
He genuinely thinks he's always right.
Yeah, but I am.
No, you're not, Ross. Come on, leave
You're
it.
not allowed
Leave
to have a
it.
domestic over the...
Number 16, Gino D'Acampo. Gino is, of course, a This Morning staple, but he's usually found tucked away in the kitchen rather than sitting on the couch.
He's one of our favorite Italian who has history causing chaos in this morning studio.
Correct.
We already knew we were in for a wild ride when he took it upon himself to make his own introduction, saying that he can do Holly and Phil's job any day. The conversation quickly moves to his relationship with other celebrity chefs and his rather blunt opinion on the French.
And he's always been this French and Italian, because everybody know that I don't like French people. So, and...
across the board?
Generally.
But the meat of it, if you will, is when Gino describes how his good buddy, Mr. Gordon Ramsay, would wake him up every morning on their travels together.
No, seriously, he used to wake me up, and he actually admitted he used to wake me up, he used to bash his willy on my foot.
Did he?
Yes,
to wake you up?
Number 15, the moon conversation.
Not only has it not been released, NASA destroyed it.
Well, or lost
Why
it.
would they have destroyed it?
Hang on.
The idea that the moon landing was faked has been a topic of debate for generations, but leave it to daytime telly to get to the bottom of it. A debate was held between Martin Kenny, who believes no one's been to the moon, and cosmologist Dr. Sarah Bosman, who dismisses his claims as nonsense. But how do you convince a man who will barely let you get a word in?
Analysing and studying the actual data that was taken during those Apollo missions, right? The scientific data.
True. That's not true.
Hold on, let me finish.
As the interview goes on, Martin's claims get more and more absurd, to the point where he even questions whether the moon is what we think it is.
And people have taken photographs and images showing it sometimes translucent. You can see through it, right? Sometimes it's got something called a lunar wave. There are many videos.
Number 14, a discussion of size.
What is termed a micro penis, right?
So I wouldn't use that term myself. Right. It's a very specific medical term.
There's absolutely no holds barred when it comes to This Morning, which means a discussion on the size of smaller than average penises is all par for the course. Ant Smith came on the show claiming to have a small todge, and that he's actually proud of it. Here he gave a pretty in-depth presentation, complete with elaborate diagrams and some less than necessary anecdotes by Eamon, as usual. To be fair though, it takes balls to come on telly and talk about this, and Mr. Smith actually has good intentions by conducting this interview, so hats off to him.
Don't be pulling anything unless it's under medical supervision.
That's correct.
Number 13, Will Williams. Now, don't get us wrong. We believe in the power of Will's Bija meditation, but to the untrained eye, some things can look a little rude, such as the opening of this session.
You need to stand up, and I'm just going to give your spine a bit of a massage.
Okay.
We haven't got much time, so we might as well just get you straight in. So if you start bending forward.
Okay.
And because your nervous system runs through your spine.
While Will tries to put the two hosts through a peaceful journey of their mind and spirit, Phil is constantly opening his eyes, completely unable to tell when the cue to start talking again is.
That was very, very, very relaxing.
I don't want to stop.
Well, let's finish with one little exercise to close off.
The session was apparently so relaxing that Alice Beer even ended up falling asleep on the couch on live telly.
Has Alice Beer gone out? Oh, she has.
She's on the other side of the studio. She started doing it. I don't know whether she's actually gone to sleep or what, but...
Number 12, The Makeover. A common segment on This Morning and daytime talk shows in general is to bring in a member of the general public and give them a fabulous makeover.
What do you think?
Do you like it, Carol? If it... Oh,
not sure.
Only thing is, usually the guests love their transformation, but that wasn't the case this time around. The lady burst into tears, hating what she had become, and Holly was distraught at the whole ordeal. To make things worse, when the two were seen leaving, there was a dramatic car accident.
And we booked a day out, including cocktails at the London Eye, and we got a river cruise.
Oh my God! No. At least, it would have been dramatic if this wasn't all an elaborate April Fool's prank aimed at Holly. Still doesn't make it any easier to watch, though.
They're both actors. They're actors.
Number 11, putting on a brave face.
Forget a white Christmas because this year it's all about a green Christmas.
Okay, so we're breaking our own rule here at the halfway point, but this one is less of an interview and more of an entire episode. Early in December of 2019, allegations had begun to surface that there was a less than happy atmosphere in the This Morning studio, with some claiming that Holly and Phil did not actually get along well off camera.
Oh, we're going round again.
Let's go round again.
Oh.
For fun.
So inevitably, when the two did return to the show the following Monday, viewers felt a strange tension during the episode, with many taking to Twitter to say that the two were trying too hard to seem like they get along.
You had a great look on your face then.
I've got a 7-year-old. I'm a pro at Helter Skelters. We do this all the time.
Can I just say, you are my 7-year-old.
Whatever you make of it though, these days the two do seem to get along like a house on fire. Number 10, Samantha Brick. In 2012, journalist Samantha Brick faced a furious backlash when she wrote an article claiming that other women hated her because she was beautiful.
Samantha, first of all, is this all just a publicity stunt and have we all just fallen for it?
No, not at all.
In this interview, Brick reveals how she has received thousands of offensive messages since the story broke. But if she had been expecting a sympathetic ear from her hosts, she was soon disappointed.
Maybe you give off, so say you walk into a party, you give off an air of kind of arrogance or superiority. Maybe that's why the women don't like you, not because you're pretty or beautiful.
Ruth Langsford has other ideas for why women might not like Brick, and judging by the presenter's own comments, we're guessing that she's not Samantha's biggest fan either.
You say, I probably won't like you when you walk into a room because you're attractive, and I do take offence to that. I think that's totally wrong.
Number 9, gender-neutral school uniforms.
Very much powered by a vocal kind of woolly liberal lobby now that are saying that all children should have the right to question their identity. A lot of kids are confused at that age for all sorts of reasons.
Paris Lees and Angela Epstein appeared on the show in 2017 to debate whether boys should be allowed to wear skirts in school. And with the women holding such contrasting views, it was perhaps inevitable that sparks would fly.
So what right have you got to come on here and say that anybody else hasn't got a right to dress however they want to? We've got more important things to be worrying about in the world than what clothes people are wearing.
The guests take turns to sneer and snipe at each other, not unlike the arguments that might occur in the schools and playgrounds they're discussing. As tempers continue to rise, even the typically mild-mannered Philip Schofield begins to lose his patience.
Why are you rolling your eyes?
I just find the whole thing completely ridiculous. Like,
Well,
you're offended.
We're debating it. It's not ridiculous.
Okay, but...
Number 8, Noel Edmonds. Following his recovery from prostate cancer, Noel Edmonds appeared on the show in 2016 to defend his beliefs that negative energy can make people more prone to illness.
You go one of two ways. You either decide you're going to focus on living your life, or you decide you're going to resign yourself to living your death.
Most controversially, the Deal or No Deal presenter claimed that electromagnetic pulse machines could slow aging and tackle cancer.
For me.
I get that, but obviously people are going to get a little bit sceptical with the fact that you keep banging on about this £2,300 box, well, you know the people who were making it.
And it didn't end with this interview either. In the months that followed, Schofield and Edmonds continued their argument on Twitter, with Edmonds calling Schofield a fool and Schofield calling Edmonds tactless and insensitive.
We had no discussion, input or prior knowledge of the content of Mr. Edmonds' statement. Yeah. We do not agree with it in any way, shape or form.
Fine.
Number 7, the Doll Man. Introducing Bob Gibbons. He's the proud owner of more than 240 love dolls, and in 2011, he decided to share his unusual collection with Holly, Phil, and the rest of the world. Sat around him in the studio, the dolls arguably look like something from a low-budget horror film.
Yeah, that's what they actually call a boy toy. They come from the USA.
But if you think they look creepy, just wait until Bob reveals what he and his wife do with them.
Right, okay, that seems a little strange, that you would get them ready and take them out. Where do you take them?
In the back mountains.
Bob's quick to assure Phil that his relationship with the dolls is purely platonic, But Holly is clearly very sceptical.
Because I don't see them in that light, I don't see
Some of them
in
are
that
dressed
way.
quite provocatively, though.
Number 6, the benefits mother. Mother of 12, Cheryl Prudham, appeared on the show in 2016 to defend her apparent exploitation of the benefit system. Prudham was then receiving over £40,000 a year from the government, but Phil and especially Holly debate whether the money is going to a good cause.
Yeah, I could save up for cosmetic surgery.
Which obviously that would come off the
Obviously,
benefits,
yeah.
and the people who are contributing to the sort of welfare state would be paying for your cosmetic surgery.
As the conversation progresses, Holly struggles to keep her cool, highlighting the plight of other people who struggle to get the benefits they need.
So how can you sleep at night? No, you know how important your kids are to you. That person with a young carer, their child is equally as important to them.
Prudham, though, remains unrepentant, leaving her labelled in the press as Britain's most shameless mum.
I'm not claiming income support. I'm going to work and I'm doing these 16 hours a week and I'm doing my best.
Number 5, Kim Woodburn. In 2017, this star of How Clean Is Your House appeared on Celebrity Big Brother, where she was at the centre of a number of explosive arguments.
But I'm not sorry I said them. For what was happening to me, you'd have had to have been a saint, which I'm not.
She seemingly went on this morning to put the record straight, but Kim continues her antagonistic approach, and the talk turns frosty when Phil asks a question about money.
So how much do they pay you?
It's nothing to do with you, Philip, is it? What are they paying you?
Well, nothing to do with
then
you.
Then don't be naughty. Thank you.
It's all downhill from there, with Schofield claiming Woodburn is argumentative and Woodburn accusing Schofield of bullying.
You're already making me feel
I don't like you to, when I get on here,
confrontational.
Have an attitude that I'm to blame, and you know damn all about it.
We're just asking you a question.
No, you're not, Phil.
With neither side backing down, it's up to Holly to hurriedly end the interview. Number 4, the robot. When Aaron Lee Wright took to the show to talk about a sex robot he had co-created, the entire studio seemed sufficiently stumped. The robot is turned off, but we still get to hear a sample of suggestive lines it can say.
We've turned her off.
Yes.
So that she doesn't come out with anything
inappropriate.
Of course.
Yeah. Yes.
And if that's not weird enough, when Holly raises the prospect of a child stumbling across the machine, Wright makes this disturbing revelation.
Well, I had 2 children myself, and they actually... she's got Smart has a family mode, which it's impossible.
It is all too much for the resident psychologist, Emma Kenny, who promptly pitches her impassioned counter-argument.
This is not real. She is not called Samantha. She's a piece of whatever you've made.
Number 3, Kerry Katona. To one of the more infamous moments in the This Morning back catalogue, and a 2008 appearance by Kerry Katona, which left viewers genuinely concerned for the former singer's health.
Apparently there was an accident on the road this morning and she's just managed to sit down.
Just got in time.
Kerry was on the show trying to relaunch herself as celeb to be taken seriously, but her efforts backfired thanks to this slurred interview.
Bad all there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that it makes you like, wow, to how I am now, it was such a relief. I mean, they were so big.
Fern Britton seems to suggest that Katona had been drinking, while Kerry's blaming her behaviour to medication makes for increasingly uncomfortable viewing.
But I mean, your speech is a bit slurred. I mean, how are you feeling now? It is a bit.
Phil and Fern also received some criticism for their handling of what's clearly a very delicate situation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for answering our questions.
No problem, thank you.
You might have felt you were put on the spot.
Yeah, thanks.
Number 2, the Ali G Impersonation. Following a campaign by the Sun newspaper to get Richard Madeley to change his hairstyle, viewers voted in overwhelming numbers for him to adopt the look of Sacha Baron Cohen's comedy character, Ali G. And Madeley doesn't disappoint.
Now, Judy, when you was presenting with Richard, what does your real husband think?
Richard, you are my real husband.
He appears in costume to interview Judy, who mostly humours her husband, in between despairing at his jokes.
Is it okay if I, Ali, does the show with you today?
What, looking like that? I'm afraid not.
Is it because I's black?
Opinion on Richard's performance was divided, with some singing his praises. But in terms of comedy value cringe, few telly moments can trump this.
And we did the first take we did just before the show went on air.
I mean, I couldn't do it anyway, but I really couldn't do it. I sounded Welsh.
Number 1, Katie Hopkins. Former The Apprentice contestant Katie Hopkins never seems far away from controversy, but she really ruffled feathers in 2013 when she admitted to judging other people's children based on their names.
A name for me is a shortcut. It's
And
a really
what does-
efficient way of working out what class that child comes from. Do I want my children to play with them?
In the now notorious interview, Hopkins explains how she won't let her kids play with children whose names she doesn't like, which leaves Holly reeling. And as the argument grows more and more heated, Phil is forced to step in.
Great deal. Together, ladies, you're all talking together.
But there's a fantastically satisfying twist when the presenters take aim at Hopkins' own choice of child names, leaving their guest with egg on her face.
Oh, so Brooklyn or London.
Your child's called India?
Yes, but you know, that's because it's not related to a location. That's because it's
India
related
isn't
to
a location?
No.
We're talking about education?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and subscribe for more great content.